The Lakers' road trip didn't just produce wins and losses, it quietly revealed something that could change how this season is evaluated. After weeks of uncertainty, a long-absent piece is back. Rotations finally make sense, and the roster looks different moving forward. This isn't a trade rumor or a panic move. It's a development that could reshape decisions before the deadline and impact how far this team can really go.
Over the past few days, I've been closely observing the Lakers' road trip because this stretch of the season says far more than just wins and losses. The 5-3 record on the so-called Grammys road trip reflects exactly who this team has been so far: competitive against struggling teams, but still inconsistent against opponents that are likely headed to the playoffs. The 125-109 victory over the Brooklyn Nets, however, brought something I had been waiting for weeks: real context for analysis. For the first time in more than 5 weeks, J.J. Redick was able to count on Austin Reaves on the floor. Even coming off the bench, on a minutes restriction and clearly still regaining rhythm, the simple fact that Reaves was available completely changes how the roster is viewed. He scored 15 points in 21 minutes with uneven efficiency, which is absolutely normal after being out for more than a month. The key point here isn't the shooting percentage on the night, but the structural impact. The Lakers are finally approaching a scenario of near full health. And in the middle of a long, physical NBA season, that is a major turning point. When LeBron James said after the game that the team is finally close to being healthy, that wasn't empty talk. It was a strategic assessment. The Lakers spent much of the season improvising rotations, overloading their stars, and trying to patch defensive holes with short-term solutions. With Reaves back, even on a controlled workload, the team gains secondary creation, offensive feel, and most importantly, flexibility. And this is where I think a crucial point comes in. If the Lakers truly decide not to make significant moves at the trade deadline, Austin Reaves could effectively become the team's mid-season acquisition, not in terms of name value, but in real impact. He provides scoring, spacing, and decision-making, and reduces the need for Luka Doncic to carry the creative load every single minute. J.J. Redick made this clear when he spoke about viewing the season through a holistic lens. He isn't coaching game to game just to survive. He's trying to build something that works in April and May. And in that context, Reaves' return fits like a missing piece in the puzzle. Now, being direct and honest with you, health fixes a lot, but it doesn't fix everything. The Lakers' biggest problem remains defense. The numbers don't lie. The team ranks among the worst in the league in opponent field goal percentage and defensive rating. That's not a minor issue. It's a trend. I do see the team trying to adjust. The more frequent use of zone defense mentioned by players after recent games has brought some immediate, modest improvement. Over the last few matchups, the Lakers have allowed nearly 6 fewer points per game compared to their season average. That shows tactical effort, but it's still not a definitive solution. Sustainable defense requires more than schemes. It requires execution, communication, and, above all, roster continuity, something the Lakers simply haven't had until now. That's why this upcoming homestand, 8 straight games spanning the All-Star break, could be decisive in defining the direction of the season. This stretch will show whether the team can stabilize its position in the upper middle of the Western Conference or continue to fluctuate dangerously. It's not an exaggeration to say these games will directly influence how the front office approaches the market. If the defense doesn't respond, the pressure to add a defensive center or a true 3-and-D wing will increase significantly. Another factor that can't be ignored is Jackson Hayes' suspension. One game might seem minor, but for a roster already struggling with defensive depth, every absence matters. And off-court incidents, even isolated ones, never help when a team is trying to build identity. What I see right now is a Lakers team at a crossroads, talented enough to compete with healthy stars and a coach attempting to implement modern concepts but still searching for consistency. Austin Reaves' return helps a lot, but it doesn't eliminate the need for clear strategic decisions. For me, the key question is simple. Does the Lakers front office believe this group, when healthy, can defend well enough to win playoff series? If the internal answer is yes, the team will likely stand pat. If it's maybe, changes are coming. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe this roster, with Reaves back, is enough to truly compete in the West, or is there still a defensive piece missing for this team to take the next step? If you want to keep getting direct analysis, well-sourced information, and an honest read on what's really happening behind the scenes with the Lakers, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join the conversation in the comments. Here, we follow every move closely. No hype, no guesswork, just real basketball.